guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be a book tag. You guys know that I love to film book tags. It is one of my favorite types of videos to film. I just find it so much fun, and today's book tag is the Get to Know Ya book tag. This tag was created by Phoebe, so I'll leave her original video linked down below for you guys to check it out. I was not tagged by anyone to do this tag as per usual, but I saw another booktuber do this tag, and I thought it was so much fun. It's just a fun little tag for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the very first question is, what is your favorite book? Now this is something that I mention all the time. If you are not new to my channel, if you've been here for a while, then you know what my favorite book is because I say it a lot. And my favorite book of all time is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I read this many years ago and I just fell in love with it. This is a historical fiction novel about a young German girl growing up during Nazi Germany during World War II, and it is told through deaf perspectives, and I thought it was just so ingenious. Alright, and then the second question to this book tag is, what was your favorite book 5 years ago? So I was gonna say The Book Thief again because it is a book that I read about, I think it was about 5 years ago that I read it, and so it became my favorite book then. It's still my favorite book now, but I decided to change it up a little and mention The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. This book will always hold a special place in my heart. It is the book that got me out of a huge reading slump. It just rekindled that love of books that I had within me, and I've been reading so much ever since. So I love this book. Sarah Dessen is actually my favorite YA contemporary author, and I love pretty much all of her books, but this one will always hold a special place in my heart. Alright, and then the third question is, what is your favorite duology, trilogy, or series? So I'm going to go ahead and mention a favorite duology. This is one of my favorite dystopians ever, and it is the Reboot duology by Amy Tintera. This is book 1, Reboot, and this is book 2, Rebel. I read these books a few years ago, like I want to say 2-3 years ago, and I fell in love. This is just such a fun series in my opinion, kind of like taking a spin on zombies. It's about this dystopian world where a virus was created, and people who are infected with this virus, they die and then they reboot. Basically they come back to life, and depending how long you've been dead, the less human you are. So our main character, she's been dead for nearly 3 hours, so she doesn't have a lot of her humanity left within her, and then she meets this guy who has only been dead for 22 minutes, so he's very much still human, and I just found the story so much fun. I just loved everything about it. I loved the characters, and I just really enjoyed the story. Alright, and then question number 4 is, what was the last book you read? So the last book that I finished reading, because I'm currently reading one book right now, is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is book 2 in the Lunar Chronicles, and I loved it. It was just so fun. A lot of people are telling me that the other books are better than this one, but I love this book so much, so it's kind of like setting the expectations higher for the other books. I love Scarlet and I love Cinder even more on this book, and I just cannot wait to pick up the next book in the series. Alright, and then question number 5 is, what was the last book of poetry you read? So I don't generally tend to read a lot of poetry. I love poems, but the last book of poetry that I read was Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, and I loved this book. It was just so beautiful, as you can tell by my many tabs. I would highly recommend this book to everyone, even if you don't like poetry. Just be warned, there is a lot of sexual references in this book, and there's also a lot of references towards sexual abuse, so just fair warning, but regardless, this book was absolutely stunning. Question number 6. What book most influenced your life? So I have to go back to The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This book just made me look at things differently, especially because this book is telling through a perspective of a young German girl. She's growing up during Nazi Germany. She's seeing these things happening to the Jews, and she's not quite understanding why, and I love her innocence in this book. It influenced my life so much. I look at things differently now. I try to take a look at all different perspectives perspectives book. It is one of the most influential books in my life. Alright, and then question number 7, a book that made you ugly cry. Now, there have been many books that made me cry, but there have been very few that made me ugly cry. The Book Thief was one that made me ugly cry, but the book that I wanted to mention for this question was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This entire book, I ugly cried. It was so sad how much I cried over this book. It's about this boy who kind of has a hard life, and it's made even worse because there's this monster that visits him every night and he doesn't understand why, but it's so beautiful. If you have not read this book, guys, it's so short. Please read it. Alright, and then the next question is question number 8, a book that made you laugh. Now, I haven't exactly finished this book yet. I'm currently listening to it on audiobook, and it is My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, and I've really enjoyed listening to this book. I'm currently trying to finish another book, but this book is kind of on pause right now. I've gotten like maybe a quarter of the way to this book, and I loved it. It is like historical fiction, but with a comedy twist to it. It is about Lady Jane Grey, who's 16 and she gets married, and she's queen for like a total of 9 days, and then she gets beheaded. It is hilarious. I love the narration of this book. Just really am enjoying this book, and it's cracking me up so much. Alright, and then question number 9 is a character you like to be for the day. And the character that I chose would be Mayra, who is the main character of the Snow Like Ashes trilogy by Sarah Rosh. Mayra is someone that I really connected with. I think she's so relatable, her struggles and her wanting to be more involved and trying to be a better person for her people. The fact that she has like cool magical abilities is a plus. I would totally love to be her for one day and just be a kick-ass character for one day, because she is definitely kick-ass. Alright, and then question number 10 is a book that was so good that you dreamt about it. Now, to be honest, I don't usually remember my dreams, but I can definitely say that I did dream about Cinder, which is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. I am so in love with this series, and I don't remember the details of my dream, but I remember Cinder there, and I remember Prince Kai, and the only reason I recognize Cinder was because of her metal leg. Alright, and then question number 11 is a book that you DNF'd. So I usually, if I don't finish a book because I just can't stand a book, I don't keep it, I get rid of it. However, I still do have one book that I DNF'd, and I don't plan on reading it, but I still have it, and I am planning on keeping the book, and it is Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. As I mentioned earlier, Sarah Dessen is my favorite YA contemporary author, and I love pretty much all of her books except this one. This one, I could not get through it. I got halfway through the book before I put it down. I tried reading this book twice. Whatever makes a Sarah Dessen book special just was not present in this book. I did not connect with the character. I didn't like the plot line, but because it's Sarah Dessen and because she's one of my favorite authors, I do keep the book because I do want to own all of Sarah Dessen books. I know it's lame. Alright, finally, the last question is question number 12. What book are you most excited to read? I have to say my next most anticipated book that I want to read is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. This book is coming out in just a few weeks, and I cannot wait because the way the last book ended, I just want to see Feyre kick ass in the next book. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And it's just... Alright guys, so that is it for the Get to Know Ya book tag. I just love this tag. It is just a fun way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with any of my answers for this tag, because I would really love to know. I'm gonna be lazy and just tag all of you. If you want to do this tag, please go ahead and do it, because I would really love to know your answers. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me in other social media areas. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys, and keep reading. Bye!